a photograph. Now what we're going to do is we've made it 80 centimeters. Like I said, there's a little bit of a flap there, but you know, you're always going to get some with the cuben Trailstar. So we've done the low pitch. Now we're going to try a high pitch. So in order to do that, we obviously need to loosen every single thing off. I don't know how much we have to loosen everything off. We'll kind of see really. And then we'll go back underneath. Now we've got, now we can get under like this. So let's go for, okay, so about 115 centimeters now. So we're going to try a very high pitch in the cuben Trailstar. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is start at the back. Make sure that all of the middle lines, the middle hem lines, are just like very, 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 very loose. Right, so we'll try. So we're sleeping back here, aren't we? So this is the back now. Okay, so we'll try and make the back lowish to the ground, which might not be the easiest, but when you pitch high, okay, all right, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. So the next thing to do is this one here. Right, now the door is going to be very, very interesting getting the door done. I mean, it's definitely going to be a very high door. To be fair, this door, this side here, this is going to be downwind of the prevailing wind, so that one we can have that. Now it's probably going to tighten it up, not too bad actually. Okay. I mean, there's a little bit of slack on the edges. We might have to jig a little bit. You're probably going to have to make your pole, you're probably going to have to make your front pole quite long. And it might almost be not long enough. Oh, that's got that. That's got that bit tight. I think in order to get that one, we're going to have to move that peg in. Let's have a nose around together. So that panel there is pretty tight there. And that panel there is pretty tight. Obviously you've got a little bit of flap on the hem, but we could almost do with maybe just trying to tighten that one up. A little bit there. It's one very narrow door, but like I said, it is it is a bit finicky, I have to say. It's not for everyone, this shelter. All right, so I think what we're going to have to do to get things tight here is to get that one in over there, and it's still quite flappy, so I think we're going to have to get this peg much closer in there. Okay, so we're going to have to get that peg in there nice and close there. Okay, well, like I said, you're always going to get, there's always going to be one panel, at least one panel somewhere that I've ever been able to do anyway. I expect Ron can do this in 2 minutes. But you got that panel tight. Now I don't think in this super high configuration in the Trailstar that you will be able to pitch it to the ground. Well, not easily anyway. But realistically, if you're going for a high pitch like this, I don't know why you'd be wanting to pitch it, you know, right to the ground, because it's just, you've already got a super narrow door, and that's about a 1.5 pitch. So that's a 1.17 m pitch, relatively close to the ground. What you might be able to do, I'm saying might, I'm not going to try it. There's only so many of these I can pitch. But if you make the lines very long, in effect raising it off the ground even more, then you might be able to flatten the pitch out more, you know, and get a wider door. So that might work if you were in a forest. Obviously when you're out here on the open moors, you've got to be fairly close to the ground, because there's always going to be some breeze or wind around. So you know, you're always going to want to be fairly close to the ground, but I'm kind of thinking that you might be able to get a bigger, wider door if you make much longer lines that might, you know, spread that might spread it out a bit more. I'm not sure. But that is your high pitch. That's a 1 meter 15 centimeter pitch. And the only difficulty is going to be now, you know, getting in and out, because you've got a very narrow door. But that's it, that's your cuben fibre for you. Like I said, if you can get a very high pitch fairly close to the ground on most sides and a wide door on this particular shelter, ping me, inbox me. Like I said, I think if you have very long lines, that might just flatten the pitch out, and that might work.